We are live. I didn't even realize it. Welcome.
Oh.
Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. It's an exciting time here. I don't know what to tell you. We are officially within the 7 days. It is the 7 days of the ride along before the event begins. And who knew it would be so exciting? How about that? Hello, everyone. I'm Barbara Tien, joining you from Projectkin with my dear friend Jennifer Jones of Tracking Down the Family and many other exciting links that you need to follow along for, including our very own Speaker's Corner. And it's lovely to see you all joining so quickly this morning. My handy dandy RootsTech keynote start in countdown clock says 6 days, 23 hours, 58 minutes, and 33 seconds. Things are ticking, right? So it is an absolute delight to have you all here. And this is the beginning of, at least for me, a daily live stream event, jumping around at different times to the convenience of my speakers. And all of these recordings, as with all of the recordings that y'all, thank you, Kyla, y'all and Bill are putting together, are also going over on the Ride Along Partners recordings page. I've seen some fabulous new posts this morning that I added into the posts page. And then the other day, our very own dear Myrtle, hi, and I collaborated on an update to the page to include on-site because she is our on-site point person. And did you notice my DIY make it home ride along logger beads? Hi. And the idea here is to play along at home. I even have it. I think this was your idea, Kyla. Little bookmarks. Kyla's gone on to make her own bookmarks that she can pass along with friends as she's meeting cousins on the show floor and everything else. So we have so much to talk about today. What's going on with you, Jennifer?
Wow, excitement. That's about the big thing at the moment. It's very exciting, isn't it? It's so exciting to see the ride along calendar, and how fabulous does it look with all that blue?
And let's go ahead and talk about it. There's something
Yeah.
fun we've just added. So today I start my blue streak, so to speak. I do sort of have a color thing going, a blue streak going on for my 10 days. You already had an event kicking all of this off. Well, no, actually, Mert was kicking this off last week.
Yeah.
And then the cousins, the Texas cousins, Bill and Kyla, have had their cousin hunting series with some terrific tips on how to not only find your cousins and relatives at RootsTech, but also how to make the most of that for your genealogy research. And I've got an interesting discovery to share, but we'll get to that. And then we had a fantastic talk on the hard stuff with none other than Rhonda Lauritsen yesterday. That was just breathtaking. The recording is up. I'm keeping that as kind of a Projectkin thing, as distinct, but I was honored to have that happen. But then next week, with the event itself coming in by really Wednesday Pacific time, or out here in the Americas and Europe, because it's starting out there for you in Asia Pacific, our Wednesday, the 4th, but the big events start in on the 5th with, we have Kyla and Bill's excellent adventure. There's a lunch on site coming in, and you, my dear, have just added a new one on Tuesday. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yes. So we did one last week, RootsTech Family Fun, with Crystal and Crystal Lorimer and Erin Hoover, and we had some technical issues, and it was very stressful at the start, and we couldn't get Erin in, or I couldn't, and I was trying, and it was just so. But I really wanted to talk to Erin. I spoke to
We all do.
Crystal, yeah, because the three of us found we were all 13th cousins, twice removed to each other, all three of us. So we were going to have a good old chat about that, but that didn't happen. So Erin's coming along next week, for that, and with Susanna Minton Graham. So she's also a cousin on that line. There were
Wow.
actually four of us that all on the same little line. Yeah, yeah. So if we had have been able to fit four into our lives, we would have done it, but we probably wouldn't have because we had technical issues. So yes, we're going to have a chat about that next week.
And this lets us all have these ongoing conversations to carry that over. That's fantastic. In fact, that day, this is on Tuesday, March 2nd, which is sort of the early bird arrival time in Salt Lake for those of you coming in. But the Mondays with Mert is a special Mondays with Mert on site at the Family Search Library. And she's just chimed in with a little vote of support to the technology challenge of technology hiccups. Meh, but it's amazing that we can talk to each other across the planet. And here you are, Jennifer, having done that ever so difficult, your superhuman skill to shift your internal clock while not moving. You are at home in Victoria State, Australia, and yet here you are chiming away at 8 a.m. Pacific time. My mind is blown.
No, no,
All time, so you can participate.
I've now shifted over to Salt Lake City time. So it's just for a few days before RootsTech starts, so I don't have any of that sort of jet lag, time lag type thing.
Jet lag at home. See,
Yeah,
Jennifer.
yeah, yeah. Yes, so come RootsTech, I'll be right ready to go at, I think it's 12 a.m. for me or 12:30 a.m. on my time that it
Yeah.
starts. But it doesn't matter because I'll be on Salt Lake City time, so that doesn't matter.
I'm so impressed. Well, it's going to be an exciting day. For those of you who are in Salt Lake, through the magic of a ride along partnership, I'll have you know that Mert is coordinating a special lunch together. And you can learn all about that on the site. So take a look at ridealongpartners.org slash just ridealongpartners.org and you can find your way around. There's a little navigation bar at the top. You can navigate all around. But on the events page, there is a early birds lunch planned. It's just like our DIY blog, our DIY swag, BIY slag. It will be a BIY lunch so that it can keep it all affordable. But currently it's all set up at the Copper Canyon. And if something changes, we'll be sure to update that so that we're all up to date and make posts and whatnot to let you know when things are changing.
And I have to say, I'm very envious of everyone that's on site. And go to that lunch. I want to go to that lunch. So
I have an idea. So when you do your more Roots Tech Family Fun event, at least speaking for the Pacific time, which is only an hour off of Mountain time, and those of you in Eastern and European time, it's time for tea or a little early dinner. We can all eat along while they're having lunch. How about that?
that's good.
And I just saw Kathy Stone pop in, who is what we call a native on Mountain Time out there in Calgary. And in fact, she has a special program today, lest we forget that the regular schedule still continues amid all of this. This is our Kathy's Corner event for Projectkin. And she is going to be weaving in. We've had a planned talk all about postcards, continuing that discussion started earlier in the year about postcards, but we're going to be picking it up with just a few little twists about RootsTech. Aren't we? Aren't we, Kathy?
And did you see dear Myrtle's comment there? She's going to try to live stream the lunch.
Oh, we have so much fun going on. And, the thing is, uh, you ask yourself why. It's just a conference and it's all very learning things. But I'm learning so much from each other. Kyla and gosh, now I'm forgetting who it was who had this brilliant idea of not only to jump in there and take a look at all of those events that are happening. Maybe this was you. look at all those events that are happening in person. You
Yeah.
won't be there and they're not recorded. So I'm left out. No, I'm not left out. I
No.
love that. You go through the list and then look at the syllabus. I
Yeah.
mean, heck, if I knew that, if I were even on site, I'd have thought about that. You
Yeah.
must have been really good students.
Not at all. But I did do that yesterday. I went through and
Damn,
downloaded them all.
I did too. It
Yeah.
makes great
Oh,
reading.
because there are some there that are on-site only that I really did want to go to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
best, isn't it? So, yeah,
Exactly. And speaking of being a good student and doing things right, how's that for a segue? Kathy jumps in to tell us a little bit about her plans for this afternoon's Kathy's Corner, where we'll be talking about organizing and archiving as it ref, reflects, refers, as it's related to, there it is,
yeah,
related to the paper material, the paper ephemera, the paper memories that are passed down so that they remain for future generations, even as they're digitized.
yeah,
So that's a very important topic that surely all good students are paying attention
yeah.
to.
And I saw talk about Kathy. I saw another comment from Kathy that's gone now, but it said, "Oh no, there it is. Just changed an appointment away from March 6th, so she can."
To
It's all about
be there.
RootsTech next week.
Absolutely. And there is just so much coming up there. It's going to be great fun to be following along everyone's experience. Can I
Yeah.
share my little surprise relatives at RootsTech? I mean, you have yours with the Creighton cabin, and in fact, it does come back to Crystal because back in earlier this year, no, last year, late last year, October last year, um, Crystal and her team at Belmont County, Ohio, did a talk for Projectkin about the seven ranges. Now, I'm such a neophyte at this whole genealogy thing here in the US. I didn't know anything about why the seven ranges were significant. I've learned a lot since then. And um, uh, the long and short of it is that it was an important part of American history in terms of a first effort to survey the land, all of this land that was opening up and new for settlements and a way for the government to pay the people who fought in the revolution by giving them land. And the whole structure for how it was done. And now, Crystal and her team at Belmont County, Ohio, have mapped that into GIS, a GIS database, such that the same records can now be linked into or are now linked into Family Search. So I looked at my relatives at RootsTech list and said, "Hmm, no, I mean, I know why of my 9,000 something relatives at RootsTech Connected are ridiculously large. I mean, come on, it's me, right? Why is that so big? It's embarrassing. Now, it's not surprising that a huge number of those, like 13,000, because they get double counted, 13,000 of them are on my mother's side and 94 are on my dad's side.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
because his family migrated to the US our family on his
yeah,
line
yeah,
in the mid 19th century.
yeah,
And so, in that sense, I'm kind of like everybody outside of the United States. On my mom's side, it was way early. Okay, well, that explains it. No, it doesn't. So, it turns out that just like four lines, four or five ancestors count for the lion's share of those. Why is that? They were early converts to LDS. And I only figured that out by tracking the few. There was this Jacob Parker who was in, guess what? Belmont County, bought land. So I looked on there's a drop down database, a drop down list, and you look for a name. So I
oh,
entered the name Parker, common name, Jones, common name,
yeah,
put that in there, and bada bing, there he is. And then I looked at him, and then I looked at all the contacts to him, and there it is. So it was really interesting to see that. And yes, it is about having your family tree in Family Search, but it also matters who else
yeah,
has their trees in
yeah,
Family
exactly.
Search. and,
yeah,
what interests they have in the detailed records in there. I found it fascinating, and I found it also fascinating to see who was interested in the rest of that.
yeah. But
So,
what a great resource that is for anyone with
yeah,
family in the area. I mean, it's absolutely amazing, isn't it? Really?
exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm just as excited with my little number as you
Right.
are with your big number because it took me a week to get up to 5, but today I got 100 overnight. So today I've got 161. Can't believe it. Some of them are wrong. I have looked at. You've got to be a little bit careful. I should say that to anybody out there. Um, you know, it depends on the information. A lot of it depends on the information that other people put in as
Of
well as
course.
the information you've put
Of
in.
course. Right.
Sometimes there are errors and things like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, and I have found that my mother's maternal line and my mother's paternal line married. So,
Ah,
same ancestor on both sides. So, I wasn't expecting that little find. But
yeah.
wasn't an uncommon thing,
Yeah.
really. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Well, that's what the surprise was to me, was that even when the numbers are small, like I said, it was like 9,093. Oh no, 13,000 and like 93.
uh,
The interesting discovery was on the 93,
yes,
because I had, in this case, there is a guy who is a fourth cousin to me and a generation removed. So I think he's older,
yeah.
and hasn't responded to my email yet. But I followed his path to me, and the interesting thing is that his path to me is through my third great grandmother, who was from Germany, from Baden-Baden, and she came in. Well, she came with my second great grandmother, who by that time was a widow, and her grandchildren. And I have always focused on the widow. Why did the widow come? What was the widow looking for? And now I realize that the widow's mother, my third great grandmother, her father had come earlier with
Oh,
his second wife. My third grandmother was the first child from his first wife who died. He remarried his first wife's little sister and then had more children and took those children to America. So
yeah,
she was going to reunite with him.
yeah,
Now
yeah,
I know where she went.
yeah, yeah. And it makes sense, doesn't it?
Well, I hope so. I have more research to do, but
Yeah,
it was like such an aha moment.
yeah. And Jane has just said, she's a bit similar to me too. She has 72 connections. The bulk have LDS connections. So I found that the bulk of mine are in Salt Lake City
Yeah, yeah,
today. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So, which,
And it, yeah, and also, a lot of times you're going to find much higher quality care,
yeah,
care and attention to the records, and some wonderful insights when you can
yeah.
contact people about, what they've found, and where they're
I
headed.
was excited to get just yesterday or the day before a second cousin came up. Uh,
What?
lives in Victoria.
Oh,
So how amazing is that? So
time for
I've
tea.
definitely reached out there. Yes, yeah, yeah. So
Oh, wow. Wow.
yeah,
I've only done as well. I got a third cousin last year, and I'm like knocking on, I did get her email, and I'm like knocking on the door saying, hello, you
yeah,
coming?
I'm here. Oh, so yeah, it's very exciting, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, there have been so many sorry, there have been so many wonderful posts coming in now, and I really encourage. Oh wow, you also have a second cousin, Jane.
Oh,
That's
oh,
how thrilling is that? Are they also nearby? Was it someone you already knew? I mean,
someone down the road, maybe.
right?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good tip from Myrtle. Remember to scroll to the right, and you can search for a specific common ancestor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Sort of
what I'm. That
flashed up on the computer. It's hard to easy to miss it.
Oh,
Yeah.
US.
Oh,
Yeah.
USA. Yeah.
So absolutely. Yeah, second cousin is like in the next room.
Yeah. And also now that Dear Myrtle is there making a comment, spoke to Dear Myrtle on her mini Mert the other day, but I didn't know until the next day that we are cousins. I think it's 10th cousins. So,
Wow.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
very exciting. So,
yeah,
yeah, we do have a lot of these connections, and,
yeah,
if I can put a little plug in here, um, for relativefinder.org.
yes,
When all of this started, a handful of us got very excited about, getting a jump on relatives at RootsTech using relativefinder.org. But now I realize it's just got its own special role to play.
yeah,
Not only is it available all year round, but for any one connection, you can also see what all of the other connections are
exactly.
and be able to track that and stay in touch that way, which is, I think, a very powerful list. Jane, also, in addition to that second cousin, now I feel like you're going to play lottery here, and which of us in which state here in the United States gets to be the one who has lands in the same state as a cousin of yours. But also that you have several third cousins. Wow. Well, I guess the second cousin leads to the third cousins,
Yeah,
but that's very, very cool.
yeah.
I'm so impressed. I think wait a minute, is this Utah? Did you know there's a whole crowd of people going to Utah
Really?
and forth? But speaking of which, if you're going to Utah, over on the ridealongpartners.org site, we've just added an on-site tab. We being Mert and me, added an on-site tab to reflect the details of what's going to happen on-site for those of you who are there. And so be sure to pop over there. It dawns on me that I don't know that we added the lunch. I should do that. But just yesterday, nope, gonna fix that. But just yesterday we added the map, so it starts to feel a little more real. So you can see where at the booth the whole setup will be, including some special recording booths, a little plexiglass super sound stage of plexiglass in an otherwise very noisy society hall where you
Yeah,
could do some recording, including hello, live stream the folks back home. So the key message here, as Mert points out, is to meet us at 1600 Society Hall. I mean, doesn't that sound like a fancy address?
yeah.
It's a nice fancy end aisle across from those recording booths right near NGS. It's like where all the cool kids hang. So
Yeah, yeah,
come on down. But of course, the cool kids are also here online. So you always know you can find us too. Welcome, Linda Stufflebean. Lovely to see you pop in. And forgive me for not, cheering people on as you all come by. I do my best to always say thank you as you do when in the notes as they come by. Welcome, Becky. It's lovely to see you again. A second cousin that is listed, but we've always known each other and collaborate on our family research. You see, everybody wants to be like you. Everybody wants to be able to do that. And I even went to my first cousins and said, dude, get over here, sign up. Here's the link. Here's my cousins. Oh, also, which reminds me, I don't forgive my bragging here, but if you have a domain, and you know how to do a redirect. I host mine on Canva and are stupid easy to do this. You can take your little relatives at RootsTech URL, which is blah, blah, blah familysearch.com/en English/connect, and then a long string of numbers.
yeah,
Nobody knows that string of numbers. So they give you a QR code. But
yeah.
if you have a domain like projectkin.org, you can create a redirect that goes straight to them. And it's kind of funny. So I have projectkin.org/relatives, and that gets you straight there. And it also tells you whether we're connected. Just slipping that in there.
Um, can I say it might be a little tip maybe, or just a little
Yeah.
something? Um, I think all or some of the keynotes have been released and are available to watch now.
Oh, really?
So I watched 4 yesterday. Yes.
You mean to the actual key? I mean, those are live, aren't they?
Oh, not those live ones. You know, the
The
keynotes they do the recorded ones. They might have someone from another country talking about,
Yeah.
family and,
Oh,
you know,
nice.
to where they are. There's, I think there might be 5 or 6. I've watched 4 of them. I'm not sure if they're all up yet, but, yeah, so that I felt a bit like RootsTech started yesterday when I watched
Oh,
those.
very cool, very cool,
Yeah.
and those are always fun to do while you're doing something else too,
Oh, yeah,
you know?
yeah,
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 perfect, perfect. As these are all zipping by, I saw there you are. I saw Deborah Carl pop in, always listening for the tips.
yeah.
She was paying attention to the tip about pulling down the syllabi. But for mission genealogy, as many of you know, we have a little a publication really on Substack that is really here to help genealogists help each other on things like general purpose tips in genealogy, which is part of an ongoing series that Deborah edits, including an invitation to anybody anywhere who wants to share tips with others. But also, we have gatherings, which are just, Zoom calls. And we do it at two different time slots, one convenient to the Atlantic, the other, which is this time slot, the other convenient to the Pacific in our California afternoon to be hit you in the morning in Australia. And they're usually scheduled the first week of the month, which is Roots Tech Week. So I pushed it out a week. It'll be on March 10th or 11th in Asia Pacific. And we can all sit around the table, the virtual Zoom table, and talk about what we saw, what we'd like to see, and compare notes. I think it'll be a fun way to sort of see what's up and what we've learned. And a little plug here. Um, uh, Mission Genealogy is about to cross the threshold of 1,000 subscribers, which is kind
Oh,
of fun
yeah,
for a virtual publication. Since the only publications that does is to send out the tips that any of you all are submitting. Most, the lion's share, of course, are coming from our very own editor, Deborah. But everybody is welcome to do that. And it's amazing how many times, how helpful it is to get this seemingly innocuous little tips can be incredibly mind blowing and useful, especially as we're all learning so much here with RootsTech.
that's right. And so we can all get together at Mission Genealogy and debrief.
Exactly.
Right. Debrief.
Debrief,
Yeah.
debrief, debride, and generally settle down.
Yeah.
Because it's going to take that to calm down from all of this.
Yeah. I see Kathy's got, 80, and a few in Norway, all over the US, based
Ooh,
on father's family. Yeah, the Norway ones were a surprise for her. So there's some research to be done there,
yeah.
Kathy. Yeah,
I think that's really the key takeaway that I've learned from all of you is the power of the kind of the unexpected. I mean, now that
yeah,
I know where my LDS lines are,
yeah,
they're very big. It's very exciting, but
yeah,
that's not where the mind blowing ones are.
yeah,
The
yeah,
mind blowing ones are way out at the 11th cousins. And then, wait a minute, how are we connected? How
yeah,
did that work? And honestly, thank you, Kyla. This was another trick that I really didn't understand until I was chatting up with more of you, is how you may have a large number of relatives at Roots Tech, but when you go down, good morning, Bill, 1,700 relatives this morning. Yeah, those numbers keep taking big bounces overnight. But as you look at those numbers, they're only going to show you the closest 300, when in
yes,
fact, some of your research may find the most interesting surprises way out at sixth, seventh, eighth cousins. And that's where, that's where you can find those connections. And if you have a whole lot of them, you may not get the seventh, eighth, ninth cousins because they're not
yeah,
going to appear on the list.
that's
Hence
right.
my plug for
Yeah,
the relativefinder.org. When you go in
exactly.
there, look for a group called Projectkin. It's one of the groups. I not sure if I'm a little worried about changing it to add a password because I'm afraid it might break what was already there. But I check it frequently enough, so just pop in there, and we can all do that after the conference as well. So we've had a
Yeah.
whole bunch of more. Welcome, Lisa. Lovely to see you. Thank you, Kristen, Kelly. Hello, and of course, Bill.
And
Jennifer's chime. Sorry.
sorry, Kelly's going to be a guest with Crystal at Speaker's Corner in March. So good to see you, Kelly. Yes.
And that's just a week after. That's the week of March 10th, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 That would be next week in RootsTech terms.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Oh, and dear Myrtle says we are connected on her Welsh line. Oh, I didn't actually look yet. I shall be checking that. That's very interesting.
Yes, Welsh cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always an interesting one because
Yeah.
Welsh genealogy is just so well to my blind eyes, um, so complicated with just uh, intimidating, I guess I should say,
Oh,
and
everyone's got the same name.
it's great to see people with real skills and talent and knowledge in those areas to be able
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, doing it together and getting there from here. I'm also putting a little video together for Mert to have in the booth. So all of these recordings, you never know what clips are going to appear where.
Yeah.
So many YouTube channels getting hot and exciting too. A whole list. It's so big that it's actually going to be on the main stage with a YouTubers session at RootsTech, but also for all of us regular people out here in the virtual land. Look out for each other's YouTube channels and help a partner out,
Yeah.
and show it some love, give it the thumbs up, give it the subscriptions, and help get the word out. Because especially as we're doing these kinds of sharing, these kinds of conversations, YouTube can be just a better way, a different way of connecting and watching things. Yay, YouTubers! Exactly. Substack is going for that business. By the way, did you notice they added some kind of an integration as an app if you are an Apple TV subscriber or a Google TV subscriber? I'm neither, but so I've heard. um, and I think they have a very complicated competitive relationship with Google. And as I've always advocated, get the most out of these platforms,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but you be the driver.
Yeah.
Understand what they're trying to do and choose whether you want to do that or not.
Yeah.
And that's how we're all working together. Mert, you can be my guinea pig and explain it to me once you're back in the back in and after Roots Tech. We can talk about that, and I'll show you what I've learned about how that is supposed to be done. It was in on.substack.com is the Substack talking about Substack publication.
Yeah.
And we could talk about that. And I guess in that sense, Mission Genealogy is our on Substack talking about how we do genealogy on Substack.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Hey, we take our steps one at a time, just like everybody else. All righty. Well, I do like to keep my live streams super short because everybody's got things to do, places to go, and I super appreciate that. It has been a delightful bump. I see 22 of you out there. Thank you so much for joining. And it is always good to see all of you, to form these bonds, look out for each other, watch each other, and help each other grow, help each other learn more, because
Yeah.
that's really what it's all about.
Exactly.
So
Oh, lots of hearts. Thank you.
lots of hearts. Thank
And
you
thank
all. Well,
you to everyone for coming too. We really appreciate the support.
you bet. And I do plan to get, hello, Christine. I plan to get the recordings, all of these recordings. I will be putting on the Projectkin pages as well as on the ridealongpartners.org. And a quick reminder, I'm just putting up what I find. If you wrote something hoping that all of these RootsTech, the world of RootsTech folks see it, let me help. I'm not looking for any membership. I'm not looking for any money. I'm not looking, Bert and I, Genia bloggers and I are not looking for any exchange for this. What we're trying to do is exchange the knowledge. And I have a ridealongpartners.org/ad, pretty straightforward. On site, I'll have pictures. Drop me your pictures, and I'll post a lot of pictures of what people are seeing and videos on site. If you got an idea, something we can do, you'd be surprised what ideas we're willing to implement. we're we're dealing out here.
That's across.
Some point I need to buckle down and do my own homework. But yeah,
After
we're getting.
tech,
I mean, I only have one live stream a day. What else am I going to do with my time? All right. Take care now. Thank you so much. Till then. Bye-bye.
See you later.